Hello. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of TMI Tuesdays. I am your host, Tonk7, along with my co-host, Culler Commentary. Just before we get started off here, just want to say, remember to follow, like, share the YouTube channel, Finn's Tailgate. We start off every week the way it should start off with Tonk7 TMI Tuesdays. And then after that, we have Mike on the mic, open mic show, Tuesdays and Saturdays at 10 p.m. And then Thursdays, we have late night Culler Commentary with my man Culler, Thursdays at 10 p.m. And then in between then, we always got our captain, El Capitan, doing his sports stuff on the Finn's Tailgate Network. Lately he's had a lot of interviews and a lot of people coming on from different shows. So it's really nice what he's doing. He's always talking about local stuff going on, stuff that's happening recently. And sorry, I've been missing so many shows, everybody. Remember, check out Fanatics. That is our official partner. And we got some good discounts going on right now with our merch, 15% off hats. We got the sandals, we got the t-shirts, we got the beanie, we got the sweaters, we got the sandals just in time for summer. I mean, summer's already been going on in Florida for months now. Here in Seattle, not so much. We're just like out here, it's like the winter is just trying to hold on as long as it can. So when it's nice out, maybe I'll get me a pair of them sandals when I know how
winter
about frostbite. Yeah, dude.
You mean pre-spring.
pre-spring. It is like spring forward and just a little back at the same time. But sorry, I've been missing so many shows, everybody. I've been really, really busy. Got a lot going on. But I definitely don't like missing out. We got a good lineup for you guys here today. And thankful for being part of this. Thankful for everybody already chatting and streaming and showing. Elbow cough. I don't know what that means. But go Fins. And how you feeling tonight, Culler? What's going on, man?
Oh, pretty good, man. I've been feeling a little bogged down the past couple of weeks too, man. I know how you feel, man. Life been smacking you, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty energetic tonight, you know. A little arthritis. Nice. But, you
know. Me too, man. I'm ready to go.
Nothing the CBGs won't help.
Just like California asking what we got on for today. All right, man, we got a good lineup. So first off, I just wanted to talk about, her name is Allison Felix. She is an Olympic runner, sprinter, and she just won her 11th medal. It was a bronze medal, but she's a 7-time gold medal winner, 3-time silver, and 1 bronze. And when I saw this, I just thought it was really interesting to see someone so successful in the Olympics and someone from the United States. So what drew me to this article and talking about it more was just like kind of like women in general in the Olympics. I always see them do very well, and it kind of made me appreciate this country because like for instance, soccer. We're like one of the most dominating countries in the world when it comes to women's soccer, and it just shows how much progress we've made as a country, and how much support and freedom women have to play these sports and want to play these sports and be involved and succeed. And we don't see that as much in other countries, and I think that's a big reason why we're so successful. But it's just, I don't know, it makes me feel really good to see stuff like that, with just, things that go on. And it was just a nice story I read about, and I just wanted to bring that to the show today to start off with some really cool stuff.
Yeah, especially with all the negativity everybody perpetrates onto us. Like, we're all, you know how the world is today,
trust me.
and it's just so great to see that kind of thing. Absolutely. As we were talking about it backstage, and every little girl in this country. I mean, obviously, I grew up kind of underprivileged myself a little bit, and so not all of us have the same exact chance, or obviously, but we have a shot, and everything is possible for even the smallest person in this country, even no matter what gender you are, no matter what, gender you identify as, apparently these days. And putting that aside, no matter what, what your background, origin, ethnicity, country you came from, spoon you were fed, spoon you were not fed, whatever.
Absolutely. When you look at, like at the beginning, when they do all the countries walk in, or even just during the Olympics, you see like all these countries, it's like mainly just people from that country, like China has a lot of Chinese people. Japan has a lot of Japanese people. The United States, we got people from all over the place. They look all different shapes, sizes, and colors, and, representing this country. And along with that, with people actually migrating here, I've been traveling a lot lately, and almost every Uber driver that I've had was a person from Africa, like first generation, like moved here, got a driver's license, and does Uber. And I was listening to the radio one time, and statistically, there's 2 million people a year from Africa migrate to the United States. And
wow,
that's a lot of people. It's like, we have so many problems in this country, but it's still a place that people really want to be in and live in and work. And like, I get to have really good conversations with these Uber drivers, because we're in a car for like 25 minutes, and I learn where they're from, what they're doing. They bring their kids here, they bring their wife here. They're obviously doing something that's paying taxes. You can't do Uber and Lyft without, that automatically is, you're part of the tax system. So they're doing their part. And it just makes me feel really good to see, to see that in this country, regardless of everything else that goes on. It's nice to see that people can move here and make a living and do something with their lives.
Yeah, we get a lot of that down here in South Florida too,
Yeah.
Quite
like
a bit.
Florida is literally the melting pot of the United States, and the United States is a melting pot. It's like,
and I love the perspective too. Like, I found myself countless numbers of times in a situation just like you found yourself in, and it's like, whether it's Nigerian, Ethiopian, Jamaican, Cuban, Haitian. I mean, down here in South Florida, it's so great because I just love their perspective. When I'm, could be an Uber drive, it could be interaction somewhere at in public, whatever. But when I get involved in conversations with people, down here that have recently arrived, their perspective on the whole situation is so refreshing to me, because it reminds me of how I used to feel when I was young. You know what I mean? Before I was introduced to what it truly was to be a pure born American. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's beautiful. That's why I wanted to talk about this, because you get to have these conversations with people. You get just a different perspective, of life and where they come from and how happy they are to be here. I mean, these people are very happy to be here. They work, they work as much as they can, and they love it. And it's like this That's what I'm talking about, man. This is
like when you were in third grade, Tonk, and your teacher was teaching you about America and what it was all about, and you're like, you felt so inspired back then. You felt like sky was the limit, and wow, what a beautiful thing.
Still is.
That's how these people feel when they come here. They understand it for what it is, opportunity.
Yeah, thank you, Josh.
They come from places. A lot of them come from places where there is zero opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh. Thank you for joining the service. Thank you for your service to our country. Glad to see we're not in so much war anymore, even though there's war
He's
going on.
Part of the shield that protects what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I like seeing our troops home and safe. But next up, XFL head coaches. I'm so excited for the XFL to be back. Oh my gosh. I had season tickets in 2020. I went to, I think, 2 or 3 Seattle Dragons games.
Oh, you're a Seattle fan?
I mean,
you took the opportunity. You're like,
it was inaugural season.
It's a new league. I'm in Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not offending anybody in my home state.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It was $150 out the door with taxes for season tickets. I was like, are you kidding me? Sign me up. And like, just to be part of that, like to go to a new team, inaugural season, that was so much fun, man. I had so much fun. And they allow you to see in the lower section. And it was just really, really, I had a lot of fun at those games, and then COVID messed everything up, but they're bringing it back next season. The XFL is back, and they just released, so the 8 teams, 8 head coaches. And when I was reading for it real quick, I saw Hines Ward. I was like, yes, Hines Ward. He's a badass wide receiver from the Steelers. And he's going to be a head coach. And it's kind of just like what I said before, how we need more players that were coaches. I mean, we need more players that were in the NFL to try to be coaches. And this is exactly what I was talking about. And he's, I think he's more, I don't know exactly his nationality. I think he's more Asian, but but there's, so out of the 8 coaches, 4 of them are members of the Black community. And it's good to see that the XFL is practicing new hiring methods. A lot of their coaches are straight up former NFL players. 2 of them won a Super Bowl. Reggie Barlow won a Super Bowl. Rod Woodson was a former player. Terrell Buckley was a former player. Anthony Betch was a former player, and of course Hines Ward. And I don't know how much this has to do with. So, and I know like Dwayne The Rock is like a big part, huge owner of the XFL. So this might have something to do with him, being he used to play football, and just being, around teams like that. But I'm just really excited with these hiring processes and this new season, and hopefully it lasts. And it's kind of like a litmus test. We have a new league that's going to come out that is kind of like, let's just see how it works. Like what they do after you score a touchdown, you have to go for 1, 2, or 3 points. There's no PAT. And then just like with these different hiring practices, and I hope these coaches are successful, especially the former player coaches, because that's what I was preaching before about hiring. Like we need more former players to step up and be coaches, to get the change that, people are wanting. And I'm just really, really looking forward to this, because I know there's a team in Tampa, the Tampa Vipers. So maybe the Fins tailgate will have something to do with that next season. But I'm going to be going to some games. Like as soon as the season tickets are ready, boom, I'm buying season tickets. Thank you, Shake Money. Thanks, guys, for Josh. Thanks for chiming in. Yeah, thanks for chiming in, guys. It looks like, we're all on the same page here. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah. Filipino and Black. That definitely makes sense. But I'm just really excited to see Super Bowl winning players as coaches.
Yeah, and also, I'm looking down this list. There's a few actually good former coaches on his.
Yeah,
On
what's
this
his
list,
name from Sooners? Bob Stoops.
yeah, Bob
And
Stoops,
Wade
Wade Phillips,
yeah, Wade Phillips, yeah. And it was
Jim
so
Haslett.
yeah, and then it was a few years ago now, they had the AFL. It was no, the AF, American Alliance Football.
Right.
And what's his name that used to coach the Gators? Steve Spurrier went undefeated in Orlando as a head coach, and then they just got rid of the league. I was like, this league is freaking awesome. But now that now the XFL is definitely coming back, and the XFL actually has a lot, like, is implementing a lot of changes that might coordinate into the NFL too. It's like I said, it's kind of like a good litmus test, and just a way to keep, because I know they get players that didn't really make it to the NFL, really good and shake money. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude.
Do
You
you know
guys are
who
on it. You guys are on it tonight, man. I love our viewers
Speaking
tonight.
of shake money, do you do we know who the money is behind the XFL this time around?
Well, I know The Rock has a lot to do with it. I haven't looked into all the ownership, but I mean, I would assume that it would be somewhat the same as it was before. Because it's not like the XFL just ran out of money. It was
Well,
COVID that.
it was backed by McMahon, wasn't it?
Yes. I don't know how much he has to still to do with it. I like it. I mean, if he had it in the 90s and then brought it back, why would he give it up now? But I mean, it had, like, that state, like when I went to the games, like it had a lot of people there. I mean, there was a big turnout. I mean, Seattle loves their sports regardless.
So,
But
Tonk,
like,
I don't know if you got the exclusive text message from Al Capitan like that I just got. If you did, it probably wouldn't be so exclusive, I guess. But he reminded me to remind you and everybody that Terrell Buckley, former Miami Dolphin, is going to be the coach of the Orlando team.
So there's an Orlando team, or
that's what El Cap's saying. He says you can bet your ass the Finns tailgate's going to be on top of it.
Oh yeah. Man, you should
by
just
the
pop
way,
in, dude. Capitan, just pop in and say it, dude.
Well, by the way,
Terrell
Buckley.
Watching.
For those who are
so yeah, I think it's the Orlando team, but yeah, definitely Terrell Buckley is coaching. Well, he's the head coach of one of the teams.
Yeah, I mean, I know Tampa had a team. I didn't know Orlando had one. I know
their
have
website doesn't show any.
Yeah, it doesn't show the teams yet.
I was literally searching for it on my Twitter because I tweeted it out months ago when it was first announced. I can't freaking find it though.
Yeah, they haven't.
I mean, dude, I tweet so much, bro. I
I know
so much. I do like 5 tweets a day. It's so much, bro.
Okay, I'm over here like getting rid of my social media.
So real quick, guys, it's a there's 3 owners involved. Mm-hmm. One is Danny Garcia, chairwoman and owner. The other is Redbird Capital Partners.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. Okay,
and like none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson,
the man,
is the owner, former Miami Hurricane.
Yeah, exactly.
From what I understand, the XFL is gonna roll it out, and they're trying to figure a way into that niche where they could be the second tier league, but also do all the like if you want to try new rules or try new stuff out, you try it out in this league, and you do it with I don't know how to explain it, but there's a whole monetization where they're going to work this out, and the NFL is a part of it now in some ways.
Well, it's it's almost like a good league for, like, if you weren't, if you didn't get into the draft for NFL, you can go to the XFL, and if you get better, you go to the NFL.
Yeah, it's an American CFL.
What up, Brandon? Yeah, exactly. No, and I mean, dude, when I went to those games, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't no lackluster type of event. Like, it was.
Bro, when arena football used to be around, I've been to a bunch of arena football games. That was amazing. It was like hockey and football put together. Dudes would clobber each other against that wall, and then they'd fight. It was amazing. They would fight, take their helmets off, and throw fists. It was amazing. Now, I don't expect to see that, but there's this product's going to be something else now. So
I hope they have a Seattle team again, because I really want. I mean, man, $150 for season tickets. I was like, I can't. I was like, I can't even turn that down. And it's just good to keep these freaking big ass stadiums going all year long. Like these stadiums just sit empty for 6 months. It's like we pay
America.
$1
We
billion.
want more, bitches.
Yeah,
Give
it's
us
like
more.
How many?
There's the DC Defenders, the Dallas Renegades, the Houston Roughnecks, the Los Angeles Wildcats, the New York Guardians, Seattle Dragons, St. Louis Battlehawk, and then the Tampa Bay Vipers. So maybe it was Tampa.
Oh man, you know which way I'm rolling.
Yeah, I have a towel from the inaugural day. It says like the date and stuff. It was February 2020. Man, February 2020. Those were
interrupted by COVID.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what happened.
Believe me, listen, everybody, all those big companies got COVID money. They got COVID money too. Don't bullshit yourself. They figured out a way to write off taxes and get all that money. Of course, they ain't helping out old Capitan with his small business, but they're going to help out the billionaires. This is a shakedown.
Prepared.
It's a shakedown, boys.
Yeah, USFL starts soon. That's a rugby league.
Look,
USFL.
I'm looking at it right now.
Josh,
it's literally saying current coach of XFL's Orlando franchise. So XFL is a new team. Orlando's a new team coming. So that's like, I'm telling you, I know it's not showing it to me now, but that must be the old XFL. So when it comes out, there's going to be an Orlando team. Look, here it is. Terrell Buckley, American football cornerback, National Football League, currently coach of XFL's Orlando franchise. It doesn't even have a name yet, the Orlando team. So, yeah, there is going to be an Orlando team next year, and you can bet your ass I'm going to get in front of that early.
Because, I mean,
there's not going to be a lot of media coverage of it. I want to cover it.
What was my team's mascot again?
I don't know.
The St. Louis Blackhawks?
Oh. I forgot about
that. There's a St. Louis team for XFL?
Yes, there is. Well, listen, I don't know if all these teams are going to be there now that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I didn't try to even look up teams, because I haven't really heard.
That's all 2020.
I just know. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Well, St. Louis is still looking to, for a reason to do something to renovate the Edward Jones Dome. You know what I mean? They're going to blast it down and do something else.
I mean, it's just like the last time the XFL was here 2 years ago, it just didn't get enough traction to really make a big difference. But man, I tell you what, we get a full season in that, we'll get some more teams.
A report came out, and sources close to the league mentioned XFL would be keeping 5 of the original 2020 teams. Here's the 5 teams.
Seattle.
DC Defenders, Dallas Renegades, Houston Roughnecks, Seattle Dragons, and St. Louis Battlehawks. Fucking St. Louis Battlehawks sounds cool. And then they're following through with the Vipers proposal move to Orlando.
Team.
The Tampa team is moving to Orlando and becoming a new team.
Sorry,
bitches.
Pete.
Well,
sorry,
you know what?
Sorry, St. Pete.
I'm just being real. As you know, Florida, Tonk. The market is way bigger in Orlando, a city, massive city without a team. So they can definitely get that. I'll be getting in front of that Orlando market if I can. So all right, I'm out of here.
Thank you, producer.
Good, quit bothering us. We're trying to do a show here.
Listen, I got to run this bitch. Apparently,
he's probably in a tank top right now. That's why he has his camera on. All right. So what we got next?
All right, enough of this headache, hat.
Oh man, this is so awesome. So I was watching. I don't know. I don't know if it was part of the interruption or if I was just watching Sports Center. But Alyssa Nakin, of the San Francisco baseball team, is the first female coach. So it specifically says in a regular season game. So they probably had female coaches maybe in preseason or minor leagues. But
training coaches,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But now she's like, and it showed her on the field, like by one of the bases.
I didn't finish to see what her role was. Do you know what role she was? First base coach.
Oh, okay, exactly. She was standing
Fairly
by one of the
important
bases.
role.
So, yeah, I was like, heck yeah, man! Like
that's the person that sits there and chit chats with the runner when he makes it to base and says, steal or don't steal. You know,
she's in a league of her own. I think you mean that in a good way, Justin. I'm just gonna say in a good way.
Oh, definitely a pun there.
Yeah. But it was just, I don't know. It's like, it's really cool to hear that.
That's an old timer pun.
And it just changed it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, like it doesn't always have to be all male. Like we can have some females in there too. They like, I mean, especially if they were good at softball, it's basically the same sport. They just throw the ball differently, and it's a bigger ball. I mean, there's not much really. All right, Scummy, I'll let you ask that question. Write her up on Twitter, find her on Instagram, and ask her that. And we'll send you a vacuum cleaner. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna refrain from.
Did you say we'll send him a vacuum cleaner? We'll send him one if he asks the question. I'm not sending you a vacuum cleaner, Scummy.
Make sure you use that same name when you ask that question on Instagram. Oh, Josh, that's your team, the San Fran Giants. I saw that. I was in San Francisco a couple years ago, and I was right. I like rented one of the bicycles and rode around, and I went in front of the Giants stadium. That was pretty cool. So I've seen a lot of stadiums in my life, traveling and stuff like that. I like to go, like, whenever I know there's a stadium there, I like to go see it because it's just cool, I mean, there's a lot goes on there, but I'm just loving all this, I'm such a fan of women, so, and just want to support, and be someone that raises awareness to things, and seeing that was really, I thought that was really, really cool, and very interesting, and go Giants for taking the step to make a transition. And
I see you, Bentley.
Obviously, she's, regardless of her gender, she's capable and deserves a shot. But just the fact that she is female probably was a little bit more difficult to get into that position. But hey,
I'm surprised it hasn't happened earlier. I mean, it's not like.
Well, they said in a regular season game, so there's probably other female coaches involved. Just maybe, I don't know, preseason. Practice.
Well, I mean, those coaching positions on the field are every bit as much about what's up here. There's nothing.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like, obviously she's qualified regardless. Like,
she played like
qualified person.
Yeah, she played like pro or semi-pro softball or collegiate softball.
And I mean, baseball is not too difficult of a sport to learn and to be good at. I used to play it, and
yeah, I mean, the strategy of knowing when to call a runner in or tell him to go or tell him to steal or whatever. I mean,
and now that they're implementing like the technology where you could just like tell the pitcher, what pitch to throw. I'm excited to see when that happens too. I know you're not so much about technology in baseball.
I don't mind the technology. I mean, there's just certain spots where it's
like just no robots. Hold on, John. What's Josh saying? Dude made it on, then she came on two, so into one. Yeah, I don't know what situation Josh is referring to. And Shake Money, that's cool. I didn't know that about the Marlins. I mean, we got, the Spurs got a female coach. I think that the Buccaneers have a female coach too.
Or was it
Bruce Arians hired it? Yeah, I forgot her name. But I know it was a female. So that's cool. I mean, it's just, there's so many qualified people, and they're starting to see that gender doesn't matter when it comes to qualifications. And it's just nice to see. So, and I mean, speaking of the NFL, Colin Kaepernick is what he says is he's been training ever since he has been out of the league. And I personally want to see him back in the league. I think that he was very talented and that he could throw the hell out of the ball. He could run well. And when he was doing his thing in California, it was him and Russell Wilson were basically competing against each other, especially being in the same division. But he's also eyeing, and that's kind of why I chose this story, because he's kind of eyeing Seattle, and I think that would be badass if Seattle got Colin Kaepernick.
Be a decent fit.
I think it would, exactly. I think it would be a very good fit, and it's like, but like, what's interesting, like, he had an opportunity. It was a few years ago. They set up this whole tryout session in Atlanta, and he didn't go.
Yeah, well, he showed up at a different place, called everybody up, and said, "Hey, this is where I'm really at.
Oh, for real?
Come do it here." Expecting everybody to pull up all their gear.
I don't think so. It's not how it works.
Move on the fly.
I don't know. Maybe he could do it right this time. Because I don't know. I want to see him get another chance. Even though he got beat by Joe Flacco, who I'm like the only person anymore who says good things about Joe Flacco as a quarterback. I would like to see him get another chance, and I think he's a pretty cool person. It took a lot for what he did. Took a lot of heat for it. But now that it's kind of becoming the norm, it's not such an issue anymore.
I'll say this on Colin Kaepernick real quick. If he had followed through a little harder and had more conviction, he could do more damage from the inside, allowing himself to be put on the outs. He should have stuck it to the NFL by continuing to play football. I don't care where, XFL, arena football,
I
Canadian
am so glad you said
league,
that, Chris.
because if he would have done that, he could have put pressure on the NFL, looking the way he was saying, to come out and never to get his chance back in. He fucked himself in a way. He made it a little bit more about the politics and the dollar signs than the actual cause in the end. I think he's righted that wrong in some ways as time has gone on. You see, he's taken back, but then again, he's gotten older too. When you're young and you got money,
who just showed him the example of what to do, Chris?
I guess in a lot of ways Flores did, but again, Flores is a lot older, a lot wiser, and a lot more patient. And I think that's
why I was never trying to insult Kaepernick by saying that Flores took him to school.
Culler, I think there's a little more malice behind Flores than there ever was behind Kaepernick. I think Kaepernick,
that's possible, but Flores is still teaching him how to handle that.
That's right. And I think Kaepernick now has handled it so much more. But again, look at the outlets in which he's handling it. None of those existed. I Am Athlete, this type of programming that's available. So there is a secondary source of income and a secondary source of information, which is most important, that we partake in. And honestly, the narrative that's written, you can get from the horse's mouth. And so his message is a little bit better now. And I think he understands, I don't know. I think it just, again, when he says so little and everyone else says so much, it's kind of like with Tua in fighting back. I don't want to bring it around in that, but it's a delicate subject. I think we would like to see some shit ended with all that, but it won't. It'll just grow. This is what growing pains feel like, everybody. Change is a pain in the balls, and it just is what it is.
We as Americans have never had any shortage of growing pains.
And you know what? We don't like change. No one does. But we find out 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, you look back and you're appalled by the things you used to do or say. And it's just how it goes, which is why I'm always
by some of the things I used to think, Chris.
Which is why I always I hate cancel culture. I hate when they go and dig up people who they were and what they said a long time ago to cancel them and stuff like that. I can't stand that because, dude, that's what growing is, and also everything is 15 years ago, the context is different. You can rewrite history all the time. But I'll let you boys get back at it. Cause for Cleats is next, guys.
You don't say.
Sorry about that, Tonk. That little side bar
Hey,
there.
I got, because it's the topics, man. It's what I bring to the table. Gets everybody riled up.
It really does,
comments.
bro.
It
It
just,
really
this
does.
is why
I'm
I'm here, man.
captivated every time I do this show. I literally just sit here and learn shit. It's the flowiest flow of all flows.
That's coming because it's coming from a poet, baby. That's all. But yeah, thanks everybody. Comment and having a conversation. This is great. And staying with the NFL, we always got cause for cleats because stuff is always going on, regardless if the season is happening. And Culler, I'm gonna let you go first. What you got for cause for cleats?
So, having grown up with a single mother, I went ahead and decided to show some love and some shine onto Mr. Robbie Anderson over at the JETS. You know what's his cause for cleats is an organization called the Kids and Me. It helps support single mothers in the Charlotte and Mecklenburg areas of North Carolina. And so, I think that's a great cause because I think that a lot of time, I think that there's a lot of things that could have been different in my life had I, had my mother been able to, I guess keep do it that way. My father wasn't not involved in my life, but, so, it didn't necessarily scar me or anything, but as far as, having to watch her struggle her whole life, and all that, and not ever getting to the point that she really deserves to be at as far as her station for what she does and who she is and how she manages to keep going and take care of everybody, not having known a lick of English when she got here.
Oh, where's your mom from?
Germany.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's where my ancestors are from.
Yeah, my dad married her over there, and about 6 months after I was born, we came back over here, and not too long after that, things happened, and there she is, not knowing very much English at all.
Yeah, I mean, luckily English isn't too difficult of a language to learn.
And it's required learning over there in their schools too. So it's just a matter of how astute you are as a student. So she probably wasn't like, she probably got along fairly easy, and picked it fully up pretty quickly.
What was the cause again?
The cause is a organization called the Kids and Me from Robbie Anderson with the New York Jets. I already closed the page, but I think it's called the Kids and Me.
And it's for kids with like single parents?
Support for single mothers, yeah.
Oh, single mother. Sorry. I was listening, but at the same time, I missed what you said. But that's cool. I didn't know that that an organization. I mean, I really like doing these because we learn about organizations that we didn't even know exist. Like there are places out there that are really trying to help these people. And I had a single mom too. I grew up very, very difficult. My mom, but I had help from my grandfather, a lot of help from my grandfather and some other family members. And I was a good kid on top of that. I didn't really make my mom's life more difficult besides just being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But she
and real quick, and also they, just to give you a little more background, they form like single mom support groups, you know what I mean? So a place where they can go to talk about things like that they may need to deal with, kids like us.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
It's
to your point,
hard,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
But they also got tutoring available,
Mm.
Stuff like that. I mean, just taking some of the load off.
Yeah.
I think you probably know as well as I do how much that could,
I
that
wouldn't
could help.
I wouldn't have been able to pass college math if I didn't have tutoring. And
Right.
I did so much math homework to get through these classes. I learned it so well that I became a math tutor.
No kidding.
And yeah, and
how
what's
advanced are you in math?
Well, I could only tutor up to like intermediate algebra, but in a little bit of college algebra, but the rest is it's just too hard. It's just so hard.
Too hard to teach, but do you know a bunch of it? Or?
No, I don't know it anymore.
Right.
But
so no computer programming, not
no,
quite.
like C++ or nothing like that.
Right.
But I was so good at it that I won an award actually in 2013. I won it. It was an instruction award. Like I got an award for teaching, regardless of what it was. It was math, but I got it for teaching because like I know what it's like to struggle at math and really need help. And that's where I related to a lot of students who were just very confused, and I was able to help them, and it feels really good. Like when you help someone that way, like I gained a lot of friends, actually, people that are still in my life to this day because I was their math tutors, because you kind of become close to these people. So yeah, a lot. I know how much of it helps when a young mom with single mom with a kid, when that support comes, how much it helps. So yeah, I feel you 100% with that cause, and I'm glad that you brought that up tonight because I want to look into it again, and get some more information on it. Because man, just any little bit of help for single moms, even single dads, but just any little bit of help makes such a difference. It can make a really big difference. And it's funny the topic you chose. I chose one a little bit similar. Is coming, as far as children are involved. So Logan Cook, it's either Cook or Cook, from the Jacksonville Jaguars. His cause is orphan and vulnerable children from Zoe Ministries. And I chose that because of how difficult it can be as a child growing up in hard times like me and you did, and being vulnerable and just going and needing, the help that these organizations bring and the difference it makes. There's a lot of these organizations on here that help children and single parents, because it matters even little tiny bit. Any little tiny bit matters so much to people that are struggling like that. It can make a big difference. So I'm glad that, we're on here every week learning about these organizations and promoting them. If people are looking to donate or get involved, look these places up. We just go on NFL.com/causes and My Cause for Cleats for people that are where we get, like, it's literally has every team and every organization. If you're looking for something to get involved in, go on there and you can see for yourself. There's so many different options.
The same bookmark. I use the same bookmark every week.
Same here. Just go right on there. And I mean, it's a great thing. It's like these people are really out there doing the good duty for our country and our citizens. Yes, hit that like button, hit the share button, send it to all your friends, let them know. We got the dopest show on Tuesdays.
They got a little drop down for all the teams.
We got the best show on Tuesdays.
I just posted a link in the chat.
The number one show on Tuesdays.
Hey, thank you.
Culler put it in there. I think that's exactly the one I look at. Yeah,
that's exactly got a little drop down for all the teams.
Here's the link right there. And you all know about the links. Be following and sharing and saving and liking. So to stick with the NFL, what we got next there behind the scenes, NFL training camps. So I love this article that I found. And I've even said stuff like this about myself not about myself, but when this show first started, when we were just everybody in one little room talking, and we were talking about Tua, and I said they need to have a more holistic approach to him to make him a better quarterback. This training camp, I'll read about it right now. What they did was they took a different approach to off-season training. Instead of kind of like a one-size-fits-all, they made it more they honed in on different types of ways to train players. And they started doing that last season, specifically with the Rams and the Bengals. So they tried out this new approach to off-season training, and 2 of the teams they did it with made it to the Super Bowl.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know how much of that is coincidence or not, but it's really interesting to see and read about this, that they're trying these different ways, and it has to be working for both of those teams to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, they had some big changes, those teams. The Bengals got their new quarterback, what's his name? Joe Burrow. And then the Rams got a new they traded for a quarterback, what's his name, from the Lions. And so those were, big changes, but the fact that this article is out and they're talking about how they took a different approach to training, and then look, kind of like an immediate difference it's made on the teams in the season. I'm trying to look for like a specific sentence I could say, but it just says that the Rams and the Bengals were two of the teams that started this new way of training camp,
where they all sit in a big circle and smoke
and saying kumbaya.
Yeah.
So it says mini camp players can be in the building 10 hours per day, with physicals on Monday and practices Tuesday through Thursday. 2 practices per day, with 1 being a walkthrough, are allowed and capped a total of 3.5 hours. So I've never played football, so I don't know the difference between that and what was happening before. But just the fact that I'm, reading about this and they're talking about, different ways to train people. Oh, so I saw in here, like, they allowed the players to, during a video session where they're sitting around watching video, they allowed them to wear sandals. And I guess before, the players weren't allowed to wear sandals. And it's like, look how simple and easy that is to just allow them to do something else, and the difference it makes. I mean, if you really wanted to wear sandals and you couldn't, you might be a little upset about that, and it might, regardless of what they're allowing, if they're allowing it now and you're allowing a little bit more freedom, it's probably making you happier as a player, as a person on that team. It might make you want to do better because you're happier. So this is what the article is talking about, is that they're allowing the players to have a little bit more freedom, and it's making them better. It's making them happier. They want to be there. They're not feeling like they have to do the same thing or wear the same thing. And I see that a lot when I left Florida and I started working in Portland, Oregon, in how different the culture is there. Like, they didn't care about tattoos. You were allowed to do, like, you could take a nap during the day.
Right.
You could work from home. They had better desks. There was just a lot. They supplied drinks and candy. And
can I just say real quick, Tonk, without interrupting too much? Just to give you an example, I played football from 91 to roughly 95. And back in those days, I mean, I took some of the hardest hits I ever took in football in practice. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I just had to say that.
Yeah, I don't know how much that would change, but it looks like they're just giving the players a little bit of more, letting them to be more of themselves, it seems like. And that's just definitely going to benefit the team. I mean, if your players are happier, they're going to just kind of perform better, maybe even naturally.
Right. Well, at the pro level, I mean, they've hit each other enough by then, I guess.
Yeah. What, you mean like tackling?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they played in high school like I did, they got enough of hitting.
Yeah.
You know?
Dustin, I don't know if they're out there running around in sandals, but I mean, if we're just watching film, why do I need to wear shoes? Because there's a lot of people that don't like wearing shoes. They like wearing sandals. So I could see how
As
that would
long
make
as
a
they're willing
difference.
to go at it on Sunday, I don't care if they sit
Yeah,
on a
exactly.
beach all week. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean, as long as you perform, and I mean, they showed immediate success. The Rams and the Bengals took a different approach to off season. And I mean, I don't know how much of that is a coincidence or not, but I don't think this article wouldn't have been written. This wouldn't have been brought to life if there wasn't some success from it. Thank you, Cap. Thank you, everybody, for chiming in. I love the conversations you guys are having. It's great.
Appreciate that.
So let's see. Yeah, all right. So our last topic before Colors rapid fire. It's, and I've been hearing about this term a lot, is analytics in baseball. Does it help? Does it hinder? And before I go into the article, what do you think about it, Color?
I'm a Cardinals fan, man. I'm a Cardinals fan. I just got did the don't they have enough cheese in New York? Do they need to make a phone call to Green Bay or something and get some more cheese over there for their wine? Build a team.
Well, they're saying that they're filling up their front office with a bunch of analytic people, and the Yankees haven't been doing as good in prior season, like they were in prior seasons, and they're starting to think
all the best players doesn't work anymore.
I mean, I guess not, because they're just so
or
focused
are they just
on
buying from the wrong? They're buying from the wrong place. They need to go over to St. Louis, make a call to St. They need to call Green Bay for some cheese, and they need to call St. Louis for some baseball players.
I mean, there's definitely stats in every sport, right? But if you're just trying to just do just math, there's too much human element to sports for it to be just written out as a math equation. Yeah, analytics help, but if that's all you're going for, what is it? Launch angle or launch like,
and I normally totally agree with what you're saying, because I'm a guy that's like, math can only ever be a reverse caricature of reality. You know what I mean? Like reality is reality. Math is math. There's always something a little off, and that's something math can never account for. That's what the ever loving chase of cosmology is. You know what I mean? And quantum physics. You know what I mean? So putting that aside, you're right. Except that in baseball, like over the long term, when you're talking about a 162 game season, you might not be able to count on every analytic, but one thing you can count on is that just about every analytic you can look at is a third. So like everybody hits the ball like 1 out of 3 times. It's like everything is like boils down to thirds in baseball. So you can pretty much count on that kind of thing as far as the math. But what I was saying earlier about the Yankees and the Cardinals, directly ties into our earlier topic about the XFL. Because one of the things that makes St. Louis competitive, being in a mid to small market, because in baseball they're actually considered a small market team, so they can't just go buy the players that the Yankees can buy. So that and that doesn't mean that that's a wrong way to do it. The Marlins did that to win their World Series back in the day. They bought a team and then farmed it out, sold it off. That is a valid way to do business in baseball, but every bit as much a valid way is the old way, where you farm and develop your own players, all the way up from cradle to grave. You know what I mean? And the grave usually being Albert Pujols' fate. Where you go get paid even more money from another team and then get to come back home to retire with the team that you were so great with. You know what I mean? So, that being said, the Cardinals have like 12 championships, Now, granted, the Yankees have they have like 19.
No, I think they have like 28.
The 28. So it's definitely like it doesn't dwarf the Cardinals per se, but it does dwarf the Cardinals. You know what I mean? And
yeah, but 17 is still a lot too.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it
what I'm
dwarfs the
saying. Well, they have
Marlins.
Cardinals have like 12, but I think that aside from the Giants, that's like the most of any. The Giants, the Yankees, and the Cardinals kind of have them all.
Yeah, and like when the Giants were winning, I think they won 2010, 2012, and 2014.
Yeah, they were trading back and forth with the Cardinals
Like
for a little while.
how much of that wins had to do with a guy doing a math problem, or
not much, because the Giants build the same way the Cardinals do.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that analytics isn't a good thing. I mean, we should have some math on this stuff. I mean, it's when you throw a ball, it goes in a direction, and when you hit the ball, it goes in a direction. There's trigonometry, there's statistics, there's math involved, but like just trying to just hire people just to do math. I mean,
right.
You can't just chalk this up.
It's no different than trying to rely on one like point when you're dealing with the stock market. If you're just going to look at the charts, you might be successful. A lot of people have been, but you're not going to be near as successful as if you could take in all the other information to account too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Baseball's the same way, and sports are always going to be that way.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm all for looking at stuff. And I mean, this is coming from I'm a math tutor. You know what I mean? Like, I love math. It explains everything, but there's too much human element in sports for it just to be chalked up to math. And I don't know. Like, it was just interesting that they had that article about specifically the Yankees and who they've been hiring these past seasons and they haven't been doing that well. And then we look at small market teams like the Rays, who do make it to the World Series. They haven't won yet, but I mean, this is a little small market team, almost like a Moneyball situation.
Right. And I think they farm from another team in Florida. Like, I think they do things just like the Cardinals and Giants. They got a minor league team that they raise players up in.
I don't know if you're watching the comments, but man, we got some comments tonight. The week must be almost halfway over. Maybe that's why. But thank you guys for like chiming in and conversing and chatting. I like seeing these conversations happen. I think I like bringing this out of people. I want people to believe, to really converse and comment on what they believe and and stuff like that, and bring up topics that have controversy behind them, but not necessarily in a bad way, but just good. It's kind of like creative tension is maybe what we could call it. And so that finishes up all of the topics that I chose tonight. And then now we're introducing, this is the second time now, Rapid Culler.
Second installment of Rapid Culler.
Part 2.
All right.
Part Tuesday.
Yeah, it's kind of acting as a nice bridge for Thursday night, because I can, I kind of been doing a similar format, but not as rapid, you know what I mean? So here we go. I'm going to fire through a couple headlines I caught during show prep that I thought were kind of interesting, funny, stupid, whatever. I'm going to make a quick comment about them and maybe even talk more about a couple of them on my show on Thursday.
Just one second before you say that. Justin Cordero, yeah, exactly my point. Like, you can't just think math is going to fix a team. But anyways.
Somebody tell Carla I got this this freaking fly bugging me again.
Whatever. What's a fly bug?
She'll get it. Carla.
Not a ground bug?
She's not in chat tonight, but I didn't see her anyway. Anyway, so that being said, let's see here. So we did the rule changes. All right. So I was coming across an article, and I'm actually bringing this up not to really so much talk about what the article is about, other than to just point out to everybody how brilliant the framing of this headline is, because it's from a respectable news source, yet they somehow still were able to craft their title to be straight clickbait, and it fooled me, and I clicked on it. So I'm gonna tell you guys about it. So on Sports Illustrated's main page or the title page for the NBA, there's an article, there's a headline that says Embiid to Nurse, stop bitching about the refs. And I thought, oh wow, Embiid is bitching at women. What's going on with this? They're gonna roast him. I click on the article, and the headline fully reads: Joel Embiid tells Raptors Nick Nurse to stop complaining about the refs. And I just was like, I don't care. I don't follow Joel Embiid, but man, that's a hilarious way to frame the article, frame the hot headline to get me to click, man. That was just brilliant. So anyway, number 2.
Oh, because he's the coach of the Toronto, and they're playing the Sixers.
Nick Nurse, right.
Yeah.
But the original hot headline says Embiid to Nurse, stop bitching about the refs. As if he was getting, iced up after the game by a nurse and said that to her, So that's what I'm thinking. Oh, man, click on it. But it was Nick Nurse, whoever that is. Anyway, so number 2, the Buccaneers have come out on record, just in case anybody was wondering. I don't know why anybody was. The Buccaneers have no intentions in making Tom Brady part owner.
Well, duh.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why anybody was thinking it.
I mean,
rumors recently circulated saying Brady plans to become part owner of the Dolphins in 23 after he plays out what'll likely be his final season with the Buccaneers. Not only would Brady be part owner, but retired coach Peyton could become the next head coach for the Dolphins. Buccaneers general manager Jason Licht was asked about the rumor this week and about whether or not Tampa Bay would offer Brady a similar role upon his retirement from the field. Have those discussions to keep Brady a Buccaneers for life taken place? No, we haven't had those discussions, Licht said. Like, what a stupid question to ask somebody. Anyway, I digress. Next article.
Interesting.
Bridging to Mr. Brady, El Capitan threw this one my way. Apparently, set your clock, set your calendars, set your TiVo, your DVR, your whatever you stream with if you're a cord cutter. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are going to team up to play Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen in quote unquote the match on June 1st.
Is it golf?
Yeah, the live golf series will feature 4 active NFL quarterbacks, with previous participants Brady and Rodgers taking on 2 newcomers in Mahomes and Allen. The next installment of Turner Sports Capital One's The Match is on for June 1st in Las Vegas with a foursome of star NFL quarterbacks.
Nice.
I didn't know Turner had that going on, man. No wonder he makes so much money. Anyway, so set your clocks, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know why Tua wasn't invited, but I feel slighted. I would have liked to see Mahomes and Tua versus Rodgers and Brady, but that's just me. So now, apparently, according to reality, the Browns are being investigated for alleged tanking. Mm-hmm. Who knew? Who knew that was against the rules? I wonder. So Mary Jo White, who is also investigating the Brian Flores claim that he was offered money to lose games in Miami, is leading the investigation. The NFL has opened an investigation into allegations that the Cleveland Browns provided incentives to then head coach Hugh Jackson to lose games during the 2016 and 17 seasons. In an emailed statement, the league confirmed that former Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Mary Jo White of Debevoise and Plimpton LLP is leading an independent probe into allegations made by Jackson in February. The review is ongoing and expected to conclude soon, wrote an NFL spokesperson. White has also been hired by the league to investigate the Dolphins in light of Brian Flores' claim that he was offered $100,000 per loss by owner Stephen Ross during the 2019 season. Reached by SI for comment, Jackson said, 2 years ago, I tried to do this the right way through the bylaws and constitution of the National Football League to ask them to investigate the Cleveland Browns for all the allegations that I've made. So why open an investigation now? A Browns spokesperson sent the following statement. Even though Hugh recanted his allegations a short time after they were made, it was important to us and to the integrity of the game to have an independent review of the allegations. We welcomed an investigation and we're confident the results will show, as we previously stated, that these allegations are categorically false. We have fully cooperated with Mary Jo White and look forward to the findings. Fun. Ay. So that is tonight's Rapid Color. I don't have much else. Pretty stupid articles, weren't they?
But yeah, I don't know. Like, of course, you can't be part owner and play on the team, like with the Tom Brady thing. I think that would be dope for him to own the Dolphins and then have Sean Payton back. I really hope Tom Brady goes into coaching or has something to do with teams, because he's just, man, I just want to see him involved. You know what I mean? Like, he just he just knows sports. Like, the guy he almost went into MLB. Like, he was a really good baseball player too.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. He played baseball in college, in high school. He was really good, but he was just better at football. And then the golf tournament, I wish we could find some other way for players to play each other and something else. Cause I mean, I don't know. Golf,
right? I know.
It's like the only thing they always do. It's like that's what they always do, though. But
I'd rather it be mini golf
or like horse or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, horse or like something like.
What were the other games? I forget all the other ones.
Like something like that. It doesn't have to be combat sports, but just something that like you can be like, oh, or like beanbag or
little foam swords,
cornhole. You know what I mean? Like, cornhole can get really, like, you could have some
rings.
Crazy.
You can do rings.
Yeah, or maybe some redneck horseshoes or something.
Dude, we played these camp games with. Okay, so we took this canoe trip over in Colorado/Utah a few years back, and the Yampa River, and this couple that was with us, this newlywed couple that had their in-laws with them, right? They like tore everybody up at all the camp games. They were winning everything. It didn't matter. Like, they were on it as if they'd been on some kind of camp games sports league or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it was terrible. It was like they were from Massachusetts. And I just thought, God, I hate people from Massachusetts. No offense to people from Massachusetts, but y'all have to be the best at everything. Like, just because of Tom Brady, you think you're like, we're gonna win at rings, or beer or cornhole. Yeah, like, it don't matter. They had this game where we were like playing tug of war, sort of, on this little where you had to stand on a bucket and basically play joust with a tug of war rope.
Yeah.
And it's like, it didn't matter what you did. These people won. It's like, what is in the water in Massachusetts these days?
Yeah, I ended up, so it was last year. I went to a concert. This dude, his name is Echo. He's a rapper. And after the show, him and his DJ and some other people that were on tour went to this bar, and I ended up going with them. And I got to play them all at shuffleboard, but like the tiny one with the little metal pieces in the sand.
Right.
It was like I'm playing shuffleboard with like this rap star, and it was fun. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and it was really good because, like, that game, if you're good at it, and and you hit the other person's puck off, and you get into three, it was like, oh my gosh, like, it was like insane.
So that was kind of like Dave. Was it Dave Chappelle's experience with Prince?
When
they went back and they were playing basketball and making pancakes,
and they still had on the same clothes from the performance.
And Prince was like tearing everybody up on the basketball court.
He's like, it was a good game. too bad. Like whatever he said, good game. Too bad I can't say it for yourself. and, and, and actually, that's funny you brought that up because the first dude I played with, I ended up beating the other dudes and like kind of like destroyed them. And it was almost like that Prince scene.
Was Charlie Murphy there? You can tell me if Charlie Murphy was
no,
there.
he wasn't. But the first night I met Lil White, he was performing in St. Pete, and I was just hanging out there, and he showed up, and I bought him a whole bunch of drinks, and he was like, I got him like wasted before he went on stage. So he's up on stage like drunk as hell, and it's all my fault because I kept buying him shots. I'm like, come on, man, you let my favorite rapper.
Hold my beer, bitches. I'm here to rap.
Yo, we got the comments going tonight, man. We got everybody in the comments tonight. I love
that was my best impression of a drunk Little White doing a show. You know, like, yo, I'm a rap, bitches.
Yeah,
I'm out.
But anyways, good show tonight. Thank you for everybody who been chiming in. I love it. Thank you for still being around even when I miss shows. It's only because I'm so busy. It's not because I don't want to be here. I wouldn't be setting up this, this beautiful Go Gators. Someone mentioned earlier Gators all day. I would set it up if I wasn't so into this. But thank you for everybody chiming in, watching the show, sharing, liking, commenting, and I look forward to next week. I try to start looking for topics early so I can find good ones, but and it's just for you guys. It's for me, but it's for you guys too. And like Dolphin Don said, what Tonk said exactly, Don. I like the little sun picture you got with the sunglasses. The sun with the sunglasses.
This is a good show tonight, boys. We'll close it down. Mike's already going, so everybody hop on over and see Mike on the mic.
Because I'm tired tonight.
Yeah,
man.
I need to cook some food. It's only 7:30 over here. I need to eat dinner.
All right, boys. I'll see you guys. I'm closing it down. Everybody, make sure you hit the like on the way out. Tonk, I'll talk to you later. Culler, Mike's cruising right now, so I'll see you guys.
All right,
on the mic.